This is the Vegan Anarchist, and this is...
Me and Com Ramblings. So, what topics are we doing today, Vegan?
We're just gonna talk about political ideologies and see, imagine what happens if you just stick them in random islands.
Yeah, it's something we were just talking about this in another hangout, which wasn't live, but we thought, what happens if you put 50 of these people on an island? What would happen? And we kind of ran with it, and we thought, well, let's go with it and see what we can do. So we'll put different people from different ideologies, different backgrounds, different everything, and see what happens. So, what shall we do first, Vegan?
We should try Black Cat. Marxism, Leninism, Maoism, Tankyism.
Put 50 Black Cats on an island.
Oh my god, 50 tankies.
All right. Anyway, I want to establish the rules of how this island is going to be. The closest thing we can think of an example for it, I'm going to get it up on Google Maps now, since luckily for us, Google Street View actually has a few of these islands, so they're pretty good for this. Anyway, first I have to find the island. It is this one. And this is the island we'll be using, Isle St. Brandon, because it's nice and round and it's not too, it's not too messy or anything. It seems to be good. There's a lot of resources they could make use of, so I'm going to share my screen so you can see it. And you can just see Vegan there, so let me get this up. Here we are. This is Isle St. Brandon. We're on the coast of it here, and we can see the nice white beaches, and we can go inland a bit. And we can go inland, and you can see resources and lots of plant matter and all sorts of stuff there. So we'll just say, just for the sake of argument, this island is about 1 kilometer in diameter, and saying it's a perfect circle, that'll make it about 1 kilometer squared in area, just about. So from this, what can we get? We'll take an amount of people and put them on an island. And all these people will share the same ideology, so, that'll lead to different methods of cooperation. Maybe competition could emerge, maybe lots of things could happen. We don't know what could happen, but we could try and find out. We could figure out using different ideologies. So what ideology shall we go for first? Now we know the rules of how the island's going to be and the resources on the island.
Let's see. We could try Marxism, Leninism, Maoism, Third Worldism.
Any more labels? Okay. Okay.
Just put tankies there.
Okay, so we'll take the them. All right. So what would happen, do you think?
Well, they would try to establish a party.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I mean,
but I don't know if there's any capitalists there on the island.
No, there's no other humans on the island, just the people we put on there. So that's how the rules are going to be for that.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard because usually they start Marxism, Leninism to get rid of capitalists, and there's no capitalists on the island.
Yeah, so would they just establish their Marxist-Leninist state? Would they proceed straight to communism? What would they do? Would they...
I don't know.
What would you imagine they'd do? Because their end goal is the same as anarchism, which is communism. They've both got the same end goal. The proceeds of getting to it is different. But would they go straight to communism in this regard? Would they... Well, it depends how many of them there is. If there was a small amount, like 50 of them, yeah, they'd probably go straight to communism. But if you put more on there, and let's say the island was a lot bigger, let's say, for example, I don't know, there was no one living on an island which was 100 times bigger with 100 times as many people, what would happen then?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
They'd probably develop states if it was way bigger, more people.
I could see that happening, yes. Definitely.
Let's try another one. Let's try veganarchism.
All right, then. Well, first, what could you imagine happening there? So we could try it on a small scale and then try it on the large scale.
They'll try to eat coconuts?
Yeah, there's plenty of coconuts on that island, lots of palm trees.
What else? What other plants can you eat?
I don't know. I don't know really what all those plants are, but there's probably some different food on there. It's probably not just coconuts. I
So a
could see
lot of fruit trees.
there's a few birds flying around. I'll say there's fruit trees, yeah.
Then that means if some of them are edible, you could feed a vegan population.
Yeah, I'd say that would probably be sustainable. You've got a small amount of them, and if you put them on that small island, I don't know, maybe they could sustain. Maybe they could build things out of branches, sticks, and eventually make themselves some nice shelter. Who knows?
Yeah, and plus the cool part is that since it's a tropical island, you get to grow all sorts of tropical things like tropical plants and make a food forest.
There's a nice tropical island, yes, good point, right in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
And because they don't have cattle, it'll take very small amount of land to sustain them.
That's a good point, yeah. They won't be dealing with animal agriculture, so that will eliminate a lot of land for everyone, won't it? So then they can, make more efficient use of a small amount of land and just, I don't know, forage off the trees and eat coconuts or whatever. But the question is, what would they do once that food was gone? I mean, maybe it'd come back every year, but would there be enough to sustain a population on there? Maybe there would, I don't know.
Depends if you grow a garden or not and how big of a
Yeah.
garden.
Yeah, it depends how big the garden is, I guess. That's a good point. Now, we could imagine something else with it. I mean, you've got an amount of vegetation. There's quite dense vegetation, so there'll be quite a lot
Yeah.
of fruit and stuff in there. So, I mean, okay, what about if those people weren't vegans? Maybe if you just talk regular ancoms. I mean, they could go in the ocean and fish for food, couldn't they?
Yeah, they can.
And then again, vegans, they could go for seaweed. That's a thing they could do.
Yeah, a lot of vegans eat seaweed.
Yeah. So that kind of
That's,
opens it up more because it's not just the island. You've got to take into account the sea around the island because there's going to be resources there which can be used. So we're kind of going into a different place now. We're not just on the island, we're on the sea around the island as well. So,
yeah.
so okay. How about ANCAPs? What would happen with ANCAPs?
The whole island will be destroyed. It'll be a huge class society and it'll be like feudalism like conditions.
Would it? Well, on a small scale, I don't know. It might be a bit different. I mean, on a large scale, yes, I could see that definitely happening. If you took the 50,000 way, yeah, that would happen. But if we're looking at the smaller way, if we're looking at what 50, 100 people, whatever, just put them on the island. I mean, let's have a look what would happen. I mean, there would definitely be a class system which develops because people would have different amounts of power. The people with more
Yeah.
power would be more successful in the ANGAP society. So from that, we can establish a few things. I mean, capitalism requires wage labor, so eventually you'll get some people saying, I require you to fish this much, you'll catch this many fish for this, and I'll give you a wage for that, or whatever. I don't know, maybe something like that would develop.
Well, also, when the first generation dies, first few generation, their children are going to have to inherit the land, and some people are not going to inherit any. So
Yeah,
you
that's true.
can have, so you can have a whole section of society that doesn't have land on the island.
I mean, eventually, I feel like the whole land's going to be owned by one person, like one wealthy person or one wealthy family, whatever. And if you look at that, then they would have all the power. The power would be in their hands. They would have absolute power over the island.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else would well have to work for this person, or otherwise they would be either exiled or executed or something.
For
That's
breaking the non-aggression principle.
what non-aggression principle. What's enforcing that?
well, it honestly, capitalist societies don't follow the non-aggression principle. It's just that they would just use that as a way to justify murdering people.
The non-aggression principle doesn't apply to those savages.
Let's try anarcho-communists.
All right. I think that goes similar to the veganism example, except they hunt fish as well, I think. I don't
Yeah.
think it'll go too much different. I don't think there will be a few other differences there.
Well, ANCOMs usually promote gift economies.
Yeah, they do, and Ireland, like a primitive island like that, would hold a gift economy better than a capitalist economy, I feel. I mean, it's a limited amount of land, so I feel like on a small scale, it'll be much better than a capitalist economy would be in this case.
Well, yeah, and there's many examples of gift economies, and some of them occur in the middle of the ocean in islands. So
Yeah.
it fits.
It does fit well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think economies can be done on any scale. It's just much easier to establish on, well, smaller scales like this. This is a perfect example where to establish a gift economy without any fuss. Everyone will just say, yeah, we're up for that because we're all ANCOMs and it'll work. Great. So I can imagine the ANCOMs working together with each other. I imagine that if you took all these ANCOMs from different places, you put them all together, they would cooperate in solidarity with each other very well, I feel.
You would, yeah. Unless they're like one's insurrectionary and the other one's platform is.
Yeah, that's another thing. What would happen then? Well, it doesn't really matter because they've already achieved their society.
Yeah.
So there you go. Who cares about that?
What would happen if we stick a bunch of fascists on the island?
That's a good question. I mean, competition to establish the one true lord of the society, or would there be or would they all just line up behind one person? What would happen?
Probably the most charismatic person would become the ruler of the island.
Yeah, he's put Donald Trump on an island. There you go. Yeah, I could imagine that. That's an idea. I mean, fascists are lured to the whole populist rhetoric for sure, because fascism's a very
authoritarian.
Not the word I was looking for. It's very populist, if you like. Like it will say a lot of things that it doesn't really mean. That's for sure. So
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I think we could establish that happening. I mean, the most popular person establishing control of the society does seem like a viable scenario in this case.
Yeah, and the fascism, the whole ideology, when you apply it to the island, they imagine societies as just one giant organism. And the individual is just cells. So any cell that doesn't do its job or can contribute is killed off.
Yeah, sure.
So,
I'll probably end up in a similar way to the anarcho-capitalist example, thinking about it.
Yeah, fascism is just capitalism with dictatorship.
They're basically the same thing. I mean, when I use the capitalism example and one person ended up owning the whole island, it's basically what happened with Leopold. It's basically the same thing as that. But anyway, we can look at another example. How about, instead of looking at more radical ideologies, let's look at something a bit more centrist, if you like.
Bernie Sanders supporters.
Put 50 social democrats on an island or whatever.
Yeah. There'll be free college and free healthcare. So would the end come? What?
What, free healthcare? I mean, okay, yeah, I get it, but there won't be any hospitals on the island when you put.
True, but they'll tax people for it.
Yeah, I would tax people. I mean, would they elect a leader at first? And then as soon as they're all plomped on the island, would they all elect a leader? I don't know.
I don't know. They'd probably just write a constitution or something.
I could see that. That could happen. These are the rules of the island. Obey these or we will, I don't know what we'll do. We won't kill you. We're not fascists. We'll do something else, though. We will,
stick you in cages.
Yeah, stick them in cages made out of trees. There you go.
Okay, let's see another one. Let's see voluntary human extinction movement.
They just die.
What?
They just stand in one place until they die.
They probably just give themselves vasectomies. Oh my god.
No, they just stand in one place until they're starved to death and rot, and then the birds eat them or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's see another one. Well, how about feudalism?
Same way as that's basically the end of the anarcho-capitalist example, I feel.
Frats again, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
how about if we stick a bunch of Mormons in there?
The group of Mormons. I don't know. They'll put underwear on all the trees and worship it. I don't know.
It's kind of ridiculous. Let's see what the comments are like right now.
All right, I haven't looked.
One person watching right now, and we're probably gonna stick him in an island, depending what he is.
Hold on. I'll have to get it open and see what happens.
I don't think I see anything in the comment section. No, there isn't any. Oh,
Not
two
yet.
people watching. So let's say if you stick a bunch of, let's say, how about just come up with one? How about Zionists?
Hmm. They're like fundamentalist Jews, aren't they?
Yeah. What kind of? They just want Jews out of the homeland. And F all Palestine. I do think it will apply to that island because if you have a bunch of Zionists, they'll probably go to Israel anyways.
Yeah, I mean, but let's say, I don't know, they don't have the technology to reach Israel. Maybe they're just stuck on the island.
Oh boy, then they'll probably be like Orthodox Jews and eventually evolves into a theocracy.
Yeah, I could imagine that. That seems like a good answer. I mean, I don't really see much else happening with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about social ecologists?
Social ecologists. Tell me what they are.
Bookchin.
Oh, Bookchin?
Yeah.
All right. What do you think?
Well, they'll try to build their utopia there.
I could imagine that, yeah.
It'll be like Rojava.
Yeah, okay, I see that happening. I think they'll do more success, though. I think there'll be more success because, Rojava's got a lot of competition with ISIS and stuff. So, it's not doing too well. But if you got rid of ISIS and all the other competition around it, it would do very well, I feel. So I think that would be pretty successful on this island.
Yep. Let's say if you stick, who should we stick in there? Christian Democrats.
Okay. Just your typical average Americans, about 50 of them on an island or whatever.
There's a lot of them in Europe. They're like socially conservative, economically liberal.
Right.
Or the American version of liberal.
All right. Yeah. For those, oof, I don't know. Maybe they would, I don't know about that. What do you think would happen?
Everybody would be really have a lot of repressed sexual urges.
Okay, I can see that, yeah.
Oh, I know good people stick on the island. Anarcho-naturists. Bunch of naked people on the island. Sounds like a TV show.
Utopia.
They just live off of fruit and berries.
Imagine so, yeah. They just established their naked utopia. Running around free as a bird. Your junk is free as a bird. I'd love to live in that society. Anyway, next, how about if we put a bunch of neocons on an island?
They'll probably try to invade other islands.
Yeah. They didn't have technology to invade other islands, so that's another thing.
They'll try to conquer each other.
Yeah, that'd be what would happen, wouldn't it? So it's just a game of Risk over the small island.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Let's see, if we stick a bunch of transhumanists on the island.
Oh, that's a tough one.
What they're gonna do?
What are they gonna do? There's no technology here. I'm fucked. That's a question. What would they do?
How about anarcho-primitivists? Or
They just
so-called. What?
they just live on the island.
They're just walk
It's a
around and eat things.
fine. We'll just live here. They wouldn't bother with anything.
Yeah.
They just live on the island, do nothing.
What will happen if we stick a bunch of, let's say, well, who should we stick? Tories.
Bunch of Tories on an island, okay. Let's see, Tories. Oh God, those twats. Let me think. Well, first there'd be a debate if they want to leave the island coalition or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Brexit.
Brexit, yeah. And then I don't know which would win, but you know it's between the snobby one and the one with messy hair. Who's also
Hi, Red Guard. 01. Some guy said hi.
oh, hello to him as well. So yeah, that's what the Tories would do. I mean, what would they do after that? I don't know.
What will happen if we stick a bunch of stoners on the island?
There have been a bunch of stoners on the island. Whoa, that bird, man! So, oh wow.
Have a bunch of weed in there?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they make drugs out of some of the plants. I don't know. That's a thriving industry based on some kind of drug.
Or they'll be stoned out of their minds.
Either way,
Yeah.
maybe you'll get though. Who knows?
Who knows? Christian anarchists. They're absolute pacifists, a lot of them are.
Yeah, that's what Jesus taught, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you look at that, then I don't know. Whew.
Pretty boring.
Yeah, pretty boring society that one would be.
And there'd be lots of Jesus worship.
Yeah, there would be, but I mean, would there be any violence? Would it be fundamentalist at all? Would it be anything like that?
I don't know, it'd be based on Leo Tolstoy. I wouldn't think there were any violence, but then again, humans have violent tendencies.
Fair enough, yeah, I guess we'll see
So
that.
some guy would punch another guy. What are they going to do when a guy punches another guy or makes a weapon?
Well, they'll just turn the other cheek, won't they? No, they won't.
Yeah, someone guy could literally butcher everybody.
So, yeah, I don't know. That makes sense.
Let's say if we stick a bunch of monarchs in the island.
Just all with their fucking royal crowns and shit.
Yeah.
Take the wealth to the island, wouldn't you? Because there's tons of gold and jewels and shit. Let's have a look at that then. I think they'd establish into a competition who can get the most shit. Like they'll all be trying to steal each other's gold and crowns and stuff. Probably making weapons out of sticks and sharpening them to stab the opponents with and take their stuff.
Lol, Jesus was more of a communist. He was.
Yes, he was.
Alright, let's see. What else can we stick in an island? We could stick green conservatives.
Green conservatives?
Yeah, I know that's a natural thing. I don't know how.
Okay. Well, they'd want to keep the ecology of the island pretty well, wouldn't they? They wouldn't want that to die, would they? They wouldn't want to kill the birds or whatever insects live on the island.
Yeah, they don't want to, but they might set up an economic system that might. Unless they do distributionism.
Then again, is this conservatism, what does it mean? Does it mean conserve traditions? Is that what we mean by conservatism in this case?
I don't know. I should look it up on Wikipedia right now. I can't believe green conservatives is an actual thing. I mean, like, from used to hearing Rush Limbaugh, I thought that would be like an oxymoron. But conservative means to conserve.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
So, like, conserve traditions.
That's what it usually
So,
me when I think conservative. I think tradition. It's the first thing that comes to mind.
so it's a subset of conservatives which incorporates green concerns in their ideology. And there is variants in Canada, UK, US, Japan, and Germany. And one of the things he talked about is David Cameron, who promised a green agenda.
Oh, right, I see. So that's what it is then. Tories on bikes. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Um,
How about free market environmentalism?
damn, that's a tough one. The-
Is that even possible? Their argument is that the state provides and enforces law that overrides or obscures property rights and thus failing to protect them adequately, and laws governing classes with individual tort claims provide polluters with immunity from tort claims and those claims in a way that make it difficult to legally sustain them.
right, that's kind of confusing.
So basically, they want to use torts and contract laws and protect property to protect the environment.
Well, protecting property does not really protect the environment now, does
I
it?
know, but a lot of libertarians actually use that as an argument, which is dumb because there's been private property all over the place, and the environment just turns to shit with them. So
Yeah. All right then. Put a bunch of. All right. What about this? Put 50 Jason Onrys on an island.
oh my god, that'd be funny.
Oh well, that would be funny.
Oh, this guy says green conservatives says kill the niggas.
What?
Kill the niggas.
Why?
It's like the N word, except instead ending with an ER is with an A, and then that is with an A.
Why are we killing them exactly? I don't understand that.
Because conservatives, a lot of them don't like black people.
Well, it depends what you think of as conservatives. I mean, the conservatives in this country are different to the conservatives in your country.
What are the differences, anyways?
Well, our conservatives aren't overly religious. That's one.
That is a big part difference.
Yeah.
Except for the Queen. What else?
Well, even she's not really that. I mean, maybe she. I don't know. But you know, I don't see her constantly praying on TV or whatever. Next is the how they're racist. I mean, American conservatives are more racist in a domestic sense, aren't they?
Very.
Yeah.
Blue Lives Matter.
Racist in the UK are more racist to immigrants, I'd say. Like the people from like the Middle East or Bangladesh or Pakistan around there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then let's see. It's a joke. Can I join? Hi, xenophobic exhauster says hi.
Who's this guy?
Xenophobic exhauster.
All right.
And then one guy asks if he can join.
I don't have
Can
a
you
clue who
do
you
a
are.
face reveal? So let's see. You stick a bunch of, let's see, people who want a chiefdom.
What, like tribalists?
Kind of like tribalists, but with chiefs and things like that.
Well, a tribe is what, I think a tribe would kind of develop on the island naturally if you just put 50 random people there from different ideologies.
So let's say we just put like every single everybody's a different ideology and stick them in the island.
Yeah, okay, all right. Every ideology we've talked about, put a few of them on.
So would they be in fighting? Would they consolidate or what?
I could imagine in places to be fighting, yes. I mean, between radical, like, ANCOMs and ANCAPs, there's going to be violence. There's going to be violence there. There's going to be violence between the Cappies and the Tankies as well. There'll be violence there. However, probably more consolidations between less violent groups, like the typical social democrats and
Christian Democrats,
yeah, them
liberals, Democrats, socialists.
green conservatives, those types of things. Like they won't be as violent, but I don't know if this would lead to I don't know. It's tough, if you took all the groups we spoke about and just put them all together, what would happen?
Well, the fascists would probably go to war with everybody.
Well, the fascists, they'd use the populist rhetoric to kind of sway the centrist groups, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But I don't know if that'd work because, again, would they be populist enough? Would some of these other groups, because they have more political appeal in this system, because they're more visible, there's a higher percentage of anarchists in this island than there is the real world, would they be able to sway them more?
And who knows, it might even develop into a civil war.
Yeah, I could see that coming as well.
And what will happen if we stick a bunch of mutualists in the island?
Yeah, mutualists, okay. Interesting idea.
They're like halfway between ANCAP and ANCOM.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they are socialists, that's right. So, socialists who want market economy, that's what mutualists are. Now, if we look at that, what do you think would happen?
It probably would do a lot better than the ANCAPs, but it'd be based on Kevin Carson. It might do well, but then again, there still might be externality problems that come through in markets.
Yeah, I could see that coming. But then again, it's a small economy. Maybe it could sustain itself better.
What will happen if we stick a bunch of Stoner Knights? You as anarchists.
It'd be a very spooked island.
Yeah. You're trying to spook the island.
Yeah, trying to spook the island. And yeah, that.
If we put a bunch of Islamic jihadists in the island.
I'd always make sure they're praying towards Mecca.
Yeah, that's one.
One denounces the faith, they'll go Allahu Akbar and blow the island up.
Oh, wow. Yeah. How about we put a bunch of surrealists?
What?
A surrealist.
I don't know about that.
How about we just take the weirdest people in the world and just stick them in the island?
Yeah, the weirdest people in the world. Who's weird for you?
Oh, look! Be sure to sub to the Vegan Anarchist vlogs for daily updates starting soon. Oh no, the sake accounts are coming.
Oh, here we go.
Bad quality. There's another fake account of you. Yeah, there's a lot of fake accounts of me.
The vegan atheist with an Apple logo.
There's a YouTuber called the Vegan Atheist.
Who's that?
Oh, he's just an atheist who promotes veganism.
All right, then that's okay, I guess.
He's best friend with a natural vegan.
Fair enough. What about if you put 50 social justice warriors on an island?
Oh my god, there's extreme racism. Racism, sexism, homophobia.
You have island privilege. Wait, so do I. What the fuck am I talking about?
If we put Jigglypuff and bunch of Jigglypuffs in the island. Jigglypuffs.
I don't know.
They'll probably starve to death because they're too big to be able to eat. That's horrible. I shouldn't say that.
They just complain that they're being oppressed by the island. Oh, man.
Oh my god. Who's the vegan anarchist vlogs, and why do people like to make fake accounts of me?
I don't know. I don't know why so many people do it.
Like, why me? Why not you?
I don't know, because I'm not as interesting as you, maybe.
Maybe. People find me pretty interesting online, it seems like it. That's why the tankies pick on me.
Maybe so. Maybe they're not typing. Maybe the people from the center-right lines or whatever.
Possibly. If you stick...
We're getting more subs than them now. Who knows?
Let's see what happens if we stick... What would be an ideology we would stick? Oh, okay. Libertarians. Right, libertarians.
Right,
minarchists.
What, like the... what, like your Friedman type?
Yeah, the minarchists, yeah.
Okay. That's a good question now. Would they go straight to... Would they actually try and set up state services that they want, like the like a court or something? What would they do there?
A minarchist basically wants like police and courts, just the basics, nothing else, just to protect private property.
I mean, they call them night watchman states, don't they?
Yeah.
So if we look at this, like, would they try and set up a court in this system? Would they decide just to go straight to anarcho-capitalism? What would they do?
They would set up a state.
You think?
Yeah, that's what their ideology is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but they're coming from a system where there's already a more powerful state, so I mean, they just don't want to go all the way with getting rid of the state. Does that mean if the state's already gone, will they try and put it there, or will they just keep it away? Who knows? It's a good question.
I think they'll probably set up a state because they're probably like be into that ideology.
Maybe.
Because who's gonna protect my property? I drew a line in the sand. I took a dump in that spot. Somebody protects that property.
Like another defends the property by pissing on it. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You'd want to imagine, to be honest.
So what happened if you stick, let's say, 25 people who are in the center-right federation and 25 far lefties?
Okay, if we put 25 people from the center-right federation, no, I don't know how many people's in there, and took, I don't know, 25 people from, I don't know, the Anarchist Federation or something, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. What?
I don't know, we'll just say all these people are anarchist YouTubers. So if you took me, you, Libertarian Socialist Rams, Anarcho-Pag, and all the others, and then if you took Love Life and Anarchy, Nero of Rome, and all the others over there, and put them on an island, what would happen?
Civil War.
Civil War, yeah. You know,
or will you probably just try to stay on opposite side of the island?
Maybe that as well.
Would you, if you were there, what?
Maybe the right side would build a wall.
Maybe. Would you try to conquer them?
Nah. I don't think I would.
I don't know. Somebody tells me I just want to go over there, take the women, and butcher the men.
What?
That's what they do in the old days. You would like butcher all the men and then take the women, and then the children become slaves.
What do they do with the women then?
They become wives or slaves or concubines. I'm like, that sounds like a horrible idea.
Yeah, it does.
It's what the Bible tells you to do that though.
Let's do some Island versus matches. That was the first one. So now we'll see what happens if you put pure ideologies on an island. What happens if you put like half of one ideology and half of another ideology on an island? What about if you put half minarchists and half anarcho-capitalists?
Oh man, They would have a lot in common, but I'm pretty sure.
There's one thing they don't.
What do you think would happen?
Oof. I don't know, but this is what I think will happen, right? They will group together into two separate communities, small, communities of 25 people, depending on what ideology they've chosen. And one side will set up a court, and maybe they'll try and enforce that court's rules over the entire island. But the Iron Council will go against that because, they don't believe in law and order like that, do they?
No.
So, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's just my idea of what would happen there.
Oh, look, Black has 100 subs.
Oh, congratulations to him.
Yeah, he's growing pretty fast. So I don't know what
Anyway.
If you stick up half primitivists and half ancoms in an island, what would happen?
Okay. I see where you're coming from here. What would happen if you put ancoms and primitivists? Tough.
Angry green giant.
No. If you put primitivists and what's it called? Post scarcityists. No, that's not the word. Whatever they call them.
Social ecologists.
Maybe that. Whatever it is. Whatever the opposite of primitivism is.
Transhumanism.
No, not that. I would just say ancoms. I don't know.
If he put a bunch of agorists on the island.
A bunch of agorists on the island.
They'll probably sell drugs all day. But if there's no state to resist, so what's the whole point?
On the island state market or whatever. The island state. No, the island free market. There we go. My mistake.
Black markets matter.
Black markets matter.
Oh god. Let's see. If you put a bunch of ISIS people on the island.
I don't know. Let's think of a weird Islamic name for the island first.
Probably.
I know, and then they find out one betrays them, and then they chop the infidel's head off. And then, I don't know, they get a nuke for good measure and go, Allahu Akbar on the body, boom.
So if you're in an island, would you try to increase the population by having a lot of babies?
Maybe they would, actually.
So, like, what happens if there's let's say 100 people, and we put 25 black people, including black women, 25 white people, 25 Asians, and
25 what?
I don't know, because Native Americans, there's too few of them, so I don't know if there'd be enough.
Okay, so what we got? 25 Caucasians, 25 Negroids,
Black people,
25 Mongoloids, because that's what these races are actually called. They're called
oh, okay, yeah, Latinos.
Caucasian.
25 Latinos.
No, 25 Latinos. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's interesting. Maybe it'll happen like what happens in prison. Where all those groups meet and then they all make gangs and shit. I don't know.
I don't know, because from what I heard, we should have interracial babies because interracial babies tend to be smarter and healthier.
Fair enough.
Possibly, So find a black woman and pregnant and have sex and she'll get pregnant and voila, healthy baby.
I think it will just end in racial segregation, to be honest. I think it'll end up with people staying to their own race. Myself, I don't think they'll mingle too much.
Yeah, true, especially if there's like fascists and nationalists there.
Well, that again depends. I mean, maybe some of them aren't like racist. Maybe there'll be some star-crossed lovers. Maybe it'll be a bit of a Romeo-Juliet thing going on the island. Who knows?
What happens if we put nationalist anarchists in the island?
There'll be nothing on the island because they don't exist.
Neither is anarcho-capitalism.
That's a good point. Maybe they wouldn't exist either.
But those who describe themselves as national anarchists.
Alright, so, they think the state's trying to hold everyone together, so they want to get rid of the state so they can segregate people better.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because apartheid South Africa wasn't good enough for them. Okay.
Well, there are 25 white nationalist anarchists and then 25 black people. Then they might segregate.
They just lynch them.
Yeah, it's not funny, but yeah.
They just lynch the blacks and make weird stuff out of their weird hats up and then wear them and then burn crosses and shit.
Yeah, that's not. That sounds like a horrible idea. Yeah.
Black people on crosses, that's what they do.
Let's see. If we, I don't know. Let's see if we have. Let's say we put a bunch of more, or let's say Buddhists in the island.
Buddhists. Phew, I don't know what happened with that.
Let's see how we put a bunch of Taoists on the island. Oh wait, you don't know much about Taoism.
No, I don't.
Let's see. How about shamanism? We put a bunch of shamanists in the island.
A bunch of shamans on the island. Again, I'm not really sure what would happen.
If you put them like of all different kinds of traditions, and you just stick them in the island. So like one would be like a Mongolian shaman, and the other one would be like let's say a white shaman, a white guy who's trying to recreate his European ancestry shaman.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Because white people used to have a shaman.
That would lead to some weird race wars.
Yeah. Okay. This is getting pretty old.
Maybe.
If you put a bunch of Confederates on the island.
They'd secede. Finally.
Okay, let's say we stick a bunch of. Who should we stick? Let's say we stick 50 different people who speak speak different languages.
Yeah, okay, so none of them speak the same language.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know.
There should be an experiment for that.
Don't understand each other's language either.
Unless one guy knows what everybody's saying. And then you have a lot of power.
Maybe, if one guy knows every language, we got some kind of polyglot on the language. Interesting.
So imagine if it wasn't one island, but it was a collection of islands, and it's part of an archipelago, wherever it's called, a bunch of collection of islands.
This island as the example is.
And we stick different ideologies in different islands.
That's a good question, actually. I mean, would the fascist island try and conquer the others? Would it not? Would it try and keep itself together better by enforcing itself on that island and that island only? I don't really know. Would they be imperialist or not, the fascists?
Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are.
They would be that imperialist. Maybe they'd be. I don't know, but then you got neocons, which are definitely imperialist.
Yeah, and they'll probably try and invade everybody.
Yeah. Fair comment there.
Oh, look, this is the vegan anarchist. Hi, guys. That's one of my comments from my fans. Not fans, but she comments on my video all the time. Anna O.
Oh, does she?
What?
Oh, does she?
Yeah. We're just talking about making islands and just sticking random ideologies into the island and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's kind of pointless, but
it'd be fun to run simulations with this and see what the simulation makes up happening.
If we stick 25 gay guys and 25 lesbians in the island, what would happen?
Oh god. I don't know, they'd The gays would have sex with each other, the lesbians would have sex with each other.
How would they reproduce, though?
It wouldn't.
Unless the gays leave semen and then the semen spilled onto the lesbian and the lesbians got pregnant.
What?
Yeah, a bunch of gays spilled semen and the semen went splat over the lesbians.
Just whatever.
And eventually they get pregnant.
Right. That's kind of bizarre. Sure.
Wow, you guys are a trip. Yeah.
Yours are trip. I don't even know what you mean by that. Do you mean like when you're watching us, you're tripping balls or something?
Maybe,
What do you
yeah.
mean?
I don't know. I think we should just end the pod. Just hangouts already. It's getting pretty long.
Is it?
Or unless we could talk about other things now.
All right then. I think we've done enough talking about shoving weirdo people on islands and stuff, haven't we?
Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about now then?
Let's see. We should talk about why. Let's talk about that incident that happened in that Orlando, Florida, with that shooting that 50 people died in.
All right then.
Do you think we should get rid of guns?
No.
Me neither. Me neither. A lot of people get mad at me, especially liberals, but my reasoning is that the state is there to keep the bourgeoisie, the capitalist class, or any class interest in power, and keep their privileges. So
Right.
anytime we take away guns, you increase the power of the government. So therefore, if we have gun control, it will only increase the power of the government and increase the power of the capitalist class. So we should reject the gun control as an act of class war, like Karl Marx did.
But then again, is allowing more guns making the government more powerful because they're using more violent tactics to hold people back?
That is a good question, though.
Like the militarization of police forces and stuff.
Yeah, it is a double-edged sword.
It is. It truly is, because, there isn't really an answer you can say because there's going to be consequence either way.
Mm-hmm. But that is true, but at least we have a capability of fighting back against the governments.
Okay.
We may not have much, but at least it's a lot better than a bunch of Brits with no guns going against the British military.
Yeah, that's true. Because they would have guns. So maybe the pro-gun ideology holds up better than the anti-gun one.
Then what do we do about those killings that keep happening in America? What's causing them all? Is it because there's too many guns?
What's causing all the mass shootings? I think it's that guns are too easy to get.
That's one issue. Oh, and now like domestic violence, people who abuse people should not be able to own guns.
But they can still. I mean, there's nothing preventing them from doing so.
That is a problem. You can always get them at a shooting range, a gun show.
Aren't you?
But it's helpful in case we need to start a revolution. There's this Facebook group called the John Brown Militia, and there's a bunch of leftists who are training to form a militia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the right has all the militias and the left has almost none.
Oh, yeah, it does belong to that.
And so many, like the Black Panthers, need to protect poor people of color.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's not much protecting the poor people, is there?
No, because the cops just go around and brutalize them.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. I mean, you don't get cops going around rich neighborhoods like that. It doesn't happen.
Well, in rich neighborhoods, cops don't even show up most of the time. They just, unless there's an incident, they don't really bother.
I mean, maybe they just walk up there with their dog and, take him for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Not doing any searches or any raids with the dog or anything, but they're just, walking the dog down a nice neighborhood, saying hello to all the rich people who, fuck them over in ways they don't know, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, because we could also make homemade guns.
Yeah, again, possible.
Because it's really hard to have gun control when you have 3D printers.
That's so true, yeah.
Like, how are they going to crack down on that?
Well, 3D printers at the moment are only in the hands of a few, aren't they?
The wealthy, yeah.
Yeah, true. They're pretty expensive things, so regular people don't have access to 3D printers yet. When they will, however, then maybe that'll change something.
Yeah, Kevin Carson wrote a book on it called The Homebrew Industrial Revolution.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's a mutualist and he wrote about that.
Okay, fair enough. Not that I agree with mutualism, but fair enough. If I can understand the idea of 3D printers being able to get rid of gun laws.
Yeah, I'm wondering because if you have a bunch of 3D printers, wouldn't it make more sense to be an anarchist society? Anarcho-communist?
I'd say so, yeah.
Because everything's going to be free anyway, so just what's the whole point?
That's a good point, isn't it?
The only problem is that a lot of the metals they use to make them come from Africa.
Yeah, that's true.
Near
Yeah.
slave conditions.
Yeah, slave conditions are a problem when it comes to, mining metals and stuff.
So I don't know how anarchists are going to be able to get those minerals without destroying the environment and the people there.
Right.
Unless you go all primitivist.
Again, yeah.
You got another topic?
What?
You got another topic?
Oh, me. Do you?
Let's see. How you never notice how the election is going?
It's gone an interesting way, hasn't it? I mean, on the right, you've got this populist. On the left, you've got this person no one likes.
Nobody likes either one of them.
That's true again. But one's got this populist way of talking that appeals to idiots.
The only problem with Trump is that there's a lot of problems with him, but with him getting elected, is he insults so many different groups of people that he's practically going to insult almost everybody except rich white guys. And even then, his brand will be too toxic.
True again, I guess.
But then nobody likes Hillary, so it kind of cancels itself out.
Yeah, sort of. Kind of does, doesn't it? I mean, the idea of this populist guy somehow rising to power, I mean, in a similar way to fascists. Because fascists go the same way to do populist rhetoric that people like.
Yeah.
I mean, smart people can see right through the bullshit, but never underestimate the power of idiots in groups.
Idiots plus groups equals disaster.
Never underestimate the power of idiots.
Is violence against Trump a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it depends, really. I mean, I prefer peaceful action. I prefer, running harsh advertising campaigns against him, but I don't know.
Well, he is a fascist, so any way to get rid of him.
I mean, all you have to do is really keep spamming advertisements calling him a terrorist, and people say, "Well, oh, wow, that's scary."
Yeah, I'll only help him though.
I think the more you call him a terrorist, I think they'll say he'll eventually go the way Nixon did, when Nixon said, "I'm not a crook," and that led to the whole scandal and all that.
The silver lining of Trump is that he's not going to be able to invade anybody unless he has the consent of the rest of the capitalist class and the think tanks and the Congress. And so even if he did want to go to war with someone, he has to get permission. He has to. They're not going to be willing to unless the bourgeoisie and the think tanks agree to it.
Fair enough. That's another point. Yeah, but would Trump have enough money to bribe them? Maybe. I don't know. It depends how rich he is again. I mean,
let's assume he doesn't have $1 billion. Just something less.
Okay, we're going to assume. Well, I think he's got about $500 million. That's my guess. from what I've seen. Anyway, I mean, Trump says he's got about 10 billion. The estimates from Forbes and other like economist websites say about 3 billion. I say about 500 million. So what shall we say?
He's not gonna be able to bribe everybody.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think it will. I mean, he does run scams to get money.
True, but he's not gonna be able to He's not gonna be able to out money the Koch brothers.
No, he won't. So, so other rich people who don't want to invade can hold him back.
And he can also outspend the Waltons, who have more money than half of Americans practically.
Yeah, that's true again.
Unless we stick them all on an island.
Yeah,
Soviet Union the state did wither away in the Soviet Union. It withered away to capitalism. Marx was wrong.
Oh, what did you do, Mark? Why you do this?
Why did the Soviet Union wither away to capitalism the whole time?
I don't know. It's a bit like that moment where Jason whines about Cuba going the way of the Soviet Union.
Well, what would you do if you live in Cuba?
Enjoy my cancer vaccinations, which America doesn't have.
Yeah.
Do you know about that? Cuba
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah. I don't
So
want
much for socialism being crappy. They're not socialists, but
Yeah.
It seems like all the economic success that the right parrots are just corporatists by their definition.
Yeah, they are. It's true.
So
I mean, they'll say one thing's capitalism when they want to praise it. I don't know. They say what shall we give an example of praising?
let's see, Singapore.
Oh yeah, they like Singapore, don't
Yeah.
they? Singapore's quite a nice place because they ban chewing gum and chewing gum's disgusting. But anyway, so we'll take that as an example, right? Singapore, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it does fit the example of so-called corporatism now, doesn't it?
Don't they all do?
They all do, yeah. I mean, this is how it works. It's capitalism if you want to praise it, and corporatism if you want to scrutinize it.
Exactly.
I mean, they ignore this and say that, like what they do with us, they say we make this fallacy as well when they say, oh, it's socialism when you want to praise it, and state capitalism when you don't want to praise it.
Yeah, but we actually have a definition.
You know what they mean. Corporatism and capitalism are exactly the same thing. There's no debating it.
Yeah, unfortunately, to some people, they're not there yet.
Yeah, that's true. Never underestimate the power of idiots, remember? Anyway.
If we get the ANCAP and we bring him into an anarchist communist island, what would happen?
Well, they try to stretch power that they don't have, and then they're just given and live with the outcomes, I guess.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do about it.
Because it's like, when extremists get exposed to Western culture, they'll enjoy it. They can't get enough of it. And that's what will happen. That capitalist bubble will burst, and they'll enjoy it.
Let's see if we. I don't know, because it is true that it's corporatism when you hate and capitalism when you love it.
Yeah.
So what would happen if like we just say if we just have people saying you want corporatism? Like, shouldn't their logic say they should promote corporatism?
By that, yeah, I guess so. I mean, by their logic, corporatism is socialism because of cooperation between big businesses. What?
And the states, like, really?
What's that got to do with socialism?
It's called corporate. It's called. I think there's a term for that. It's as well as fascism. It's kind of like corporatism. I don't remember, but corporatism.
Was it corporatocracy?
Something like that. I don't remember. Fascists have a similar term.
Crony capitalism? Right, is that it?
Well, I was thinking more of a fascist term for it.
Hold on. I'll open up the I did a really advanced version of Political Compass, putting a lot of different ideologies on it. I'll see if I've got it on there. I need to find it first. Hold on.
Fascism is not a thought; it's a crime.
What did I miss?
We're looking at the.
Sorry.
What? Yes.
Oh, nothing new. All right. What were you saying?
Fascism is not a thought; it's a crime.
Okay. Who said that?
I don't know. I saw a meme on it from Antifa.
All right. Fashion is just a misguiding ideology, which is very easy to misguide idiots with.
Class collaboration, anti-democrat thought, imperialism. No, actually, one of the parts of fascism is imperialism. So a fascist island would probably invade other islands.
Maybe. But again, they'd have to have a reason for it, I feel. I don't think they just invade things for the fuck of it. I mean, Nazi Germany only went so far. It didn't try and invade Spain or anything, did it? But then again, Spain was allied to them in a way. So that makes no sense. Or maybe they would, I don't know.
Mao Zedong's New Democracy. Let's look at what New Democracy is, because we hear that thrown a lot, but what is that? It's basically a block of 4 social classes from the Book of Mao, and which democracy would take a different path than like the Soviet Union and, let's say, capitalists in Eastern Europe.
Right.
So it aims at the overthrow feudalism and achieve independence from colonialism. However, it dispenses with the rule predicted by Marx and Lenin that a capitalist class would follow such a struggle, claiming that instead it should seek enter directly into socialism through a coalition of classes find an old ruling order. So kind of like having a bunch of classes that collaborate to form socialism. Usually the proletarian, the peasant, the petty bourgeois, and the nationally minded capitalists.
Combined to make socialism. Why would they?
That doesn't sound right, though.
It doesn't. Why would these small capitalists combine to make socialism? They don't want socialism. They want to get to the top of the ladder.
It doesn't make sense. And maybe he should have black cat, but he probably strong. He probably just tells bullshit about it.
I don't know. I mean, we could ask him and see what he says, but you know, take it with a pinch of salt, I say.
Well, some criticizes class collaborationism or a stage to replace the dictatorship as a proletariat. So yeah, I reject New Democracy. Firmly established a new democratic social order. That's a harmful formulation. The transition period changes are taking place all the time, and socialist factors are emerging every day. How can this new democratic order be firmly established? The period of transition is full of contradictions and struggles. A present revolutionary struggle is even more profound than armed revolutionary struggle of the past. It is a revolution that will bury the capitalist system and other social systems of exploitation once and for all. The idea firmly establishes a new democratic social order that goes against the realities of our struggle and hinders the progress of the socialist cause.
Right.
But how is collaborating with capitalists and petty bourgeois actually help anything?
I don't know.
Like, I do believe you should have a collaboration between the proletariat and the peasants, because that's a duh. But why do you need capitalists? There has to be something wrong with this Wikipedia page.
I don't know. It just seems a bit off.
So, how many people are watching right now? Because I think we bored everybody.
Not sure.
About 2 people. Okay, good. I'm glad I haven't bored 2 people yet. Yeah, Maoism is just stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right. It sounds a bit bizarre. Something sounds a bit off, I should say.
Yeah. Perhaps if we read Maoist books, we should probably we could understand it better.
Maybe that one just confuses even further.
What?
Sorry, you can speak.
Oh, I'm just like reading some things. I really don't. I think that sounds really revisionist, though. That sounds really revisionist.
What does?
The new democracy.
Right.
Like, doesn't that sound very revisionist to you?
Yeah, I think it does.
Maybe Blackhead just comments and tell us what new democracy is.
Yeah, I do wonder what it is, to be honest.
But what happens if we try anarchism, third worldism?
I don't know.
Should anarchists push revolution in the third world and not the first world?
I don't know about that. I think it's possible in both.
Yeah, Jason Hunter is a quack, so I think we're just dying now, so we might as well end the broadcast.
Alright then.
This is the vegan anarchist. No meat, no milk, no masses. See ya, and this is
Bye.
adios, amigos.